Hello and welcome everyone to this Super Mario Odyssey any percent 70-star League Season 2 qualifier here at GSA. All new Luke versus Sefarom? Sefarom? Am I saying that right?
Sefaro.
Sefaro, whatever. I mispronounce everyone's name. I'm Scotch and Tie Guy. You can call me Scotch. In the booth with me is Electric. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty great. Really excited to see some Odyssey. And if you haven't watched any of our races since season 1, oh boy, there are actually a lot of things that have changed. So if you haven't watched any of those races, a big one is they are now running on version 1.3, the most modern version. Used to 1.0 was the fastest because of version exclusive tricks, but Nintendo added this feature that combined with a system update, the game actually overclocks the Switch during loads. So all the loads in the game are faster to the point that this version is now the fastest version to run on, despite not having Sphinx Clip, not having FMS, etc.
Yeah. I apologize.
You've seen
I
them
said
set up now also for another trick called DST abuse, which we'll discuss as it's happening later. But just know that they have to have this date and time specifically set.
Yeah, I apologize. I said 70-star league because that's what the we still have it set up for the previous match. This is any percent here in Super Mario Odyssey. The way this is going to work is that they're going to get the minimum number of moons per area and before they move on back to the Odyssey, and they're going to do that as quickly as they possibly can, basically finishing up with the pillars and hitting the moon rock at the very end of the game before finishing up. And as we've got the countdown in the back, we should be good to go.
You should be seeing some type movement at. Okay, so we've got them going ahead and going to that main start screen. So with the DST abuse, they do have to start their timer as they're starting the in-game the menu timer. But with live split, you can set a negative start value, so that gives them the time to just go ahead and wait for 0, so they can both start the actual game together. And so Cap Kingdom, you know it, you love it. This game probably has like the shortest intro as far as when you first get control of Mario in any Mario game, yet in my mind, the first two kingdoms are still kind of that like tutorial zone that still isn't that great to mess with, but there's still a lot of really, really good movement that you can optimize throughout here.
Well, and if you're used to, if you watched the any percent tournament last season, you will see some differences here as we get out of Cap Kingdom. Everything will be up the same pretty much though, up until essentially Sand.
Oh, Sefaro bonking on the movement up to the Switch. Almost very clean from both our guys here.
Yeah, just gotta roll really quick here. They're gonna get through this minor section through here, and then you got the a major trick here in Cap, left side movement.
Some nice frog vectors looks like from all new Luke here. You could save a frog jump if you do the frog vectors properly. Speeds up this room a little bit. Sefaro had some interesting movement on those rolls down that arched slope where like he actually got on the fence at the end. All new Luke barely missing left side, just the fence not deciding to clip him through.
Well, I said before, you know, that movement is so important. It's so easy to miss. These guys practice it obviously, but you've got to get that.
It's like a really weird triple jump you have to do. Like I've messed with it before, but I've never actually gotten left side. It's pretty technical, the movement you have to do to manage to land that triple jump or the Cappy bounce if you go for that sort of setup off of that small Odyssey clone.
Well, we head into Cascade now. All new Luke with the slight lead. Sephora having a little bit of issues there with that topper fight.
Sephora, I didn't know a makeup line was racing.
Oh yeah.
You can press 1 if you own Sephora products. Are they any good? I don't know makeup like literally at all. My girlfriend came out of the other room and just looked at me with the blankest expression on her face.
without context.
So, as you can see, these guys not skipping this first moon. Unfortunately, after 1.0, you have to get this first moon for the Madame Brutal cutscene to go ahead and trigger to actually start that fight. So, even though we are saving a bunch of time on loads, we do have to lose that little bit of time watching these couple of cutscenes to get the first moon.
Yeah, kind of a bummer that you can't skip it anymore, but obviously, like you said before, these load times are just so much quicker. Gonna head up top.
The T-Rex here.
Yeah, this trampoline can be kind of difficult sometimes. allnewluke getting it. Very nice. allnewluke grabbing these coins. Coin count not too hugely important here in any percent. If you've been paying attention to the Dark Side tournament that just finished up, coin count there massively important. But we'll still be grabbing some shot moons here and there. So coin count, you gotta watch what you've got.
allnewluke with a nice fast brutal. Let's see if Sefaro can match. Oh, Sefaro not able to get that last. You have to get those like chain chomp retractions really, really cleanly in order to have enough room on all three. Otherwise, you end up having what happens there happen. There's like barely enough clearance because like if you actually make any contact with the wall, then the chain chomp won't actually slam into brutal like it should.
Well, and we're all done here in Cascade. Excuse me. Driving one more moon, I apologize. Climbing up top here.
And no worries about that chest clip moon anymore. Don't have to deal with that at all. As we move on into sand, where we're going to see the timer alterations that these guys did at the very beginning take effect. So the seeds in this game take 20 minutes to sprout and grow, and we're never in any kingdom for anywhere near that long. So it used to, like, we just completely ignored the seeds at any percent. But then it was found that if you plant a seed, then go into a subroom, and daylight savings time is triggered, then when you come out of the subroom, the seed will just be fully grown because the game itself thinks that an hour has passed due to the time change.
Yeah, pretty cool manipulation. You've got to be quick, though, because if you lose enough time here in Cascade and Cap, and you're not able to get into that pipe around the 7-8 minute mark, you will miss that opportunity.
Yeah, and apologies to chat. I didn't mean to imply that chest clip is completely no more. It just meant that we didn't see it here since, like y'all were saying, the cliff moon is fast. But not quite as fast, but the other method is very, very hard. As, like, the chest clip used to be fairly easy, but there was a newer way found of doing it slightly faster that just made it exponentially harder. And couple that with 1.3 kind of patching out certain clips.
Well, and that's the nice thing about runs, is that they pick and choose what strategies they want to do. Obviously, that chest clip is a lot harder than just jumping up to the top of that cliff. So opting to do the cliff jump here in a race situation, obviously.
Sefaro with
easier.
the bonk.
Yeah, not able to get up top there. He's got to get up there just fast enough.
I would have thought he would have skipped that tower moon, actually. Very, very sloppy movement at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like he should be fine, though. You will be having to come back up for that bird moon, though. Oh, no, he missed!
The seed not even growing at all. That's
wow.
horrible.
That is extremely unfortunate. So that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. You've got to be fast enough, and if you've had... I mean, he must have set the timer to 6 minutes then. You've got to be fast enough to where if you set that timer, you better be there, because otherwise you're not going to miss... You're not going to have the opportunity to back that up well. New Luke having trouble with that ice double jump.
And it looks like he's
now.
aware of Turn in the chat with ridiculous Odyssey runner that just seemingly came out of nowhere and started dominating. But seeming to say Sefaro not knowing to back up to that DSTA fail.
All New Luke, really nice dram there. Sefaro going for it as well. Looks like he'll be able to get it. No, he missed that dram.
Oh no! Sefaro just falling apart in Sand Kingdom.
Yeah, so a lot of major mistakes here in Sand on Sefaro's side. Only Luke also having trouble with this rocket, this bullet bill.
That particular ledge, like that bush there, you wouldn't think that would detonate the bullet bill. It does. Like I got so sick of it ruining runs that one day, like I just tested to see how close I could get to that wall, and you have to keep your distance. That bush, I don't know what it is with that bush and bullet bills, but it will instantly detonate. It's pretty dumb.
Really nice Jaxie skip on Luke's side.
Yeah, and so it looks like Sefaro backing up with luggage. So not too costly of a backup for missing DSTA. Luckily, there are a lot of fast moons just off of the DSTA route, so you don't lose too much time. But obviously, if you're going to spend the effort setting the system timer and such, you want to get that moon for free, basically.
Yeah, getting that moon just behind the Sphinx there. You see that in Darkside. You don't see that in any percent really, other than obviously with this backup. All New Luke just about done. Just needs this note moon and he'll be out.
Slightly sloppy, needing the extra spin there.
Sefaro heading for this Jaxie skip. Really nice. And not able to get those coins.
Yeah, Jaxie skip is one of those things that looks intimidating, but in reality, it's fairly free once you get the timing down. Like I was shocked by how fast I actually learned it. I expected it to take much longer. Yeah, you will be able to directly compare these runners right after the kingdom. So All New Luke getting that split time at about 47-48. Sefaro, like chat's guessing, probably about a minute behind or so. That Odyssey cutscene does take a while. That's really one of the slight downsides of the speedrun, is just waiting for the Odyssey every time you finish the kingdom.
Yeah, my suspicion is it's closer to about a minute and a half. Could be wrong though. But
see if he gets one spin here. Nope, no one spin, unfortunately.
Luke.
Nice coin grab there.
Yeah, head into lake.
What?
Doesn't get the coin. Wow.
Right with the wall. Okay. Coin RNG, a very cruel mistress in this run. What even, man? So, in case you don't know, the reason All New Luke dived towards the zipper there before capturing it, the capture animation takes less time the closer Mario is to whatever he's capturing. So it is to your advantage. You'll see that in like kind of a risky way later on in the fork flicking room. Some runners will like do these really strange looking dives that seem to just like be tempting the void, but they're actually just trying to get closer to the captures.
Well, one thing you might have just noticed is All New Luke didn't go for that clip there. It's actually been taken out of the any percent route. You know, it's not as fast.
And kind of unfortunate, late clip was a pretty awesome point of the route, but we've got bigger and better things to do now. Like go and fight our boy Rango.
Yeah, it's so interesting that this is actually faster now. Sefaro with a nice zipper grab. And Luke finishing up that Rango fight.
And chat, okay, not to throw you under the bus, Scotch, but I was kind of in disbelief whenever you said that late flip wasn't used by anyone anymore. I was kind of like, but
Wait
it's
a minute,
so
yeah.
fast.
Well, that's why I was confused as to why they weren't doing it.
Look at it. This is the danger of following leads, folks. Sorry about that mix-up.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so that was the reason. Is he doesn't have he needs the coin count. Okay. Well, Sefaro doing the same thing here, going for Rango.
So we're learning together, chat.
Yeah.
See, as you can see, those coin rings after Rango are pretty beneficial because right at the start of Wooded, we have to go ahead and go grab the quick shot moon.
Gonna take out that bunny first. Moon right under that rock.
All New Luke nearly buying the level up heart. Kind of a useless item in this speedrun. Scratch that. There's no kind of. It's completely worthless, and it wastes like 5 seconds when you grab it.
Luke heading up this waterfall. Nut clip.
You know, one trick that we will almost certainly never see get cut from the route.
Really nice. Oh, taking a little bit of bonk inside there.
Yeah, he's able to land just on that platform, though. Getting that... so sorry. Getting that moon out of bounds so you don't have to deal with the tanks whatsoever. Oh, but then All New Luke not able to get a jump at the very top of the slope there. Have to redo this, like, seemingly monkey ball type movement. Not sure what Mario is exactly running on with that animation. Nice spin jump there to go ahead and go into the spin found. Now, neither of them, or at least All New Luke not going for the tree route. Looks like Sefaro is going to follow suit. Nice poison jump from All New Luke.
Sefaro getting that nut clip as well. Not happy with that first jump. He's going to reset up for it.
And Troy, nice move grab. He just has to get himself back in bounds here. Nice back in bounds. Okay. And as Troy Vath is pointing out, the reason for Mario's weird animation, he's not actually running, he's jumping. Sefaro getting some weird angles on this movement. Yeah, thanks, Troy. I actually never quite understood why Mario looks so weird doing that.
Oh! New Luke!
Oh!
Yeah, so
death.
Missed the triple jump just a little too far on that platform. Tried to back it up and save it, but wasn't able to.
Doesn't look like he got the checkpoint. Oh!
Oh, no!
He's just going to go ahead and take the L, take the flower road here. Race certainly not over for Sefaro. All New Luke is showing cracks in his armor. Sefaro with some clean movement throughout this wooded. Like a couple little bobbles here and there. And he has the Chaos Blessing as well. That could come in handy later on. So all new Luke heading up for the spirit fight now as Sefaro collecting that moon. Psych! All new Luke's just gonna go ahead and do that roll bounce right down here. See, commentators know the route.
Gonna grab this nut, then head down into the pipe. Let's see if they can get that quick movement there. A little bit of bonk.
Oh, that bonk. Ouch. We go into flooded pipes now. I have gotten fast pipes exactly once in my life, so seeing these guys do it reliably is pretty insane. That jump there is one that, like, you have to practice this room a lot to really get that true feel of when exactly you can jump first onto that ledge. Oh, getting bopped by the fuzzy. How's he going to manage this last part here? Needs to be
Oh no!
Okay, Sefaro's making up huge time in this wooded.
Well, Luke taking 2 deaths. Fortunately, respawning back into this pipe area.
Oh, and I don't know if, like, he just figured that wasting the time like normal movement would make it easier for him to get the late cycle, or not sure what exactly his thought process was, but he is managing to go ahead and get that moon and get on out of there.
Maybe a little bit of muscle memory, just didn't want to mess with it.
And Sefaro going in for his flooded pipes. Nice intro so far. And yeah, if you don't do that first jump optimally, you can make up a little bit of time by doing a spin pound jump instead of a standard ground pound jump, but it's just so much easier with the ground pound jump because getting the spin pound jump properly down there is a little bit wonky. So just a little bit behind. Sefaro, not even a complete Odyssey cutscene back now. Major gains for Sefaro in this Wooded Kingdom. But we've got Cloud coming up. A little bit of a breather, but then after that, Lost. So what are your predictions going into this? Because as we've seen before, Lost can shift runs so rapidly.
Well, Luke has been making these minor mistakes left and right with that we saw in Wooded. And Lost is kind of like Wooded 2.0 to a certain degree. And it's tough. And it's where we see runners kind of make their major mistakes. I mean, we saw it big time in the Dark Side tournament. Lost and Lost 2 were kind of the deal breakers of the deal makers for runners. So we'll want to see Luke kind of recollect himself from Wooded. And,
Sefaro getting bought by Bowser, losing the cap. Oh no.
Lost it again there, yeah.
Bopping it too early. He's keeping his distance this time. So, yeah, he knows that you can actually roll with that hat on. Like it's really strange. You wouldn't think that you can do anything but like walk, but rolling is totally fine. The only problem is you can actually roll right past Bowser if you're not careful.
Well, manipulating him on that angle so that you don't get as much movement out of Bowser as you normally would.
All new Luke. Good meme tree jump there. Love the capping bounce setup. Now he's going to be going for the butterfly. A little bit of precise movement here on this thin platform.
Wow, Luke doing a really nice job through Lost so far.
Yeah, Troy, I don't know what it was in my first playthrough that made me think that, like, if you did any type of, like, dive or a roll or something, like it either wouldn't register or it would actually, like, get rid of your cap. Like, something in my casual playthrough made me think that, but I don't even remember what it was anymore. So Lost has gone pretty well for all new Luke. Gonna go ahead. Oh, okay. Moon giving him a little bit of trouble. He's gonna go ahead and go for this under the cliff rather than the trapedal cage break Moon. I think it's the first time I actually remembered their name the first time. Like, normally I just call them like the bomb bug thing, and like I just, for whatever reason, the name just doesn't stick.
I always make up my own names for enemies.
Is Sefaro missing that double box break? Kind of precise the position you have to have Mario in. And if the trapezal doesn't quite move properly, like beforehand, it's way more difficult to do.
Well, Luke there with a really nice lost.
Yeah, Sefaro, meanwhile, going ahead with the trapezal cage break Moon. Pretty precise strat, but does save a little bit of time. And nice Moon grab there. Preventing the death. And he's going to be moving on to Night Metro. Now, while Lost is where many runs go to die, Night Metro is where the ones that survive get further called. Especially when you get into City Hall, that movement, if you mess up, especially right on the end, it is very, very costly. And of course, Wiggler can always put up way more of a fight than you expect. The hitbox is just, whenever Wiggler passes over itself, the way that the game decides to count your shots is just very unpredictable.
Well, it's a little bit of RNG based on the pattern that you get. Sometimes you can get a better pattern where he doesn't necessarily cross over himself as much. But nice movement up top here. I want to see, there is this Goomba Heck movement that we saw a little bit in Dark Side. Not seeing it here.
Pretty interesting crouch spin from allnewluke there. Gotta waste time on that platform. Nice movement up to this chest Moon. Now it's the long jump. And that cap dive is just notoriously difficult. I personally, if you're trying to get into running this game, I recommend that you throw Cappy and then immediately release the stick before the dive. I found that makes it way more consistent than trying to actually like manipulate the stick while the camera's rotating. Because like, it's a surprisingly small area that you can dive onto Cappy and actually get the Cappy bounce. There are some times where like you'll think you'll just nick the edge of the cap and you'll just go right through.
New Luke in this Mecha Wiggler fight. Missed one shot, had to take a fourth. And he's gonna manipulate the Wiggler now. Get as quick of a pattern as he can. A little bit of fun movement there on Luke's side, kind of messing around a little bit.
Okay, and he gets 3 of the orbs down before Wiggler comes up. That's going to save him a lot of worry later on. Missing, ooh, that's kind of a nasty miss pattern shot. I think he's still able to get the... Okay, oh man, barely getting that 1 cycle. Or sorry, 2 cycles.
Yeah, that could have easily gone into a 3rd cycle.
Mad props for rescuing that. That is hard to do whenever you miss that many shots that spread out. It's like if you just miss 1 or 2, and like especially if they're right next to each other, you can shoot 1 shot and get them both. Like it's so easy to go ahead and finish it out. But 4 separate shots looking like, oh man. Yeah, 1 cycle would be the ultimate time save if that were possible, man. The day that gets found, this game is just broken in half.
Sefaro doing a good job there. Finished up Mega Wiggler now. New Luke. Daytime Metro now. Going for this dram before heading down into the city. We got a little scoot to boot. This little scooter clip. Gets it.
Okay, so nice city movement from allnewluke so far. And getting that nice delay on that pole capture. That could be a really tough one to grab.
Yeah, there's some really cool drams here in Metro in particular.
I love how throaty the voices of everyone in New Donk City is. Like that guy there, the bench spring's just like, huh.
Oh, a little bit of bonk there in the grates.
Yeah, that can be a difficult one not to take. You gotta be pretty careful with when you're ending your roll inside there.
Or a little bit more optimal with that scooter clip.
All new Luke going for the early musicians, but having a little bit of trouble on Sefaro with the early capture on that pole. Having to just uncapture, go ahead and grab the moon, and then go right back, wasting time compared to not trying the strat. Nice spin found on the Wiggler segment from All New Luke. Gonna go ahead and get this basis moon and continue on with our route.
Yeah, one of the cool things I like about Metro in particular is that you get to see pretty much every part of the city here in any percent, you know.
Yeah, with the 20 moon requirement, even though there's a lot of quick moons here, it's a very, very all-encompassing route. Like, just about the only thing you don't really see is like the Captain Toad girder and like just little things like that. Well, Sefaro also going for the early musicians movement, but due to that slip up with the pole capture, got bought by the taxi.
New Luke heading up top. The very top of the city. Gonna jump down.
Nice optimal climb.
Grab this moon just below. Above the pole.
Very nearly not diving there. You saw that ground pound input where he had a lot of delay before he actually died. And
target this one.
We're no longer gonna have to worry about coins whatsoever. Since it's 1.3, Luigi hint arts are now a thing in any percent, so we're able to just go ahead and grab those 200 coins. A bonk on the door frame. Hard to roll into this room because of how thin that door frame is, and we're now in the people's room.
Oh, Sefaro! Completely missing that moon just above the beam.
Yeah, so you gotta go all the way down to the ground, take the wire and go all the way back up. It's such a grueling mistake to make. If only there was a temporary wire like on top of that metal area.
Well, New Luke done with Metro. Sefaro's got 4 more to go. There's one above the pool, target the one just below, and head into the people's room as well. Little Mario with the subscription. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Little Mario for the 8 months.
Bunch of subscriptions just before the Super Mario 64 70-star race earlier.
Yeah, enjoy those emotes, guys. GSA has some pretty hype quality emotes. GSA S, GSA Pog, GSA GG. Oh man, like, there's so many. Oh, all new Luke missing the ledge there, having to do some weird backup movement in the ice area.
Yeah, not sure how you missed that. It's pretty. It's a little ramp that you just roll up.
And Sefaro not quite happy with that Metro performance, as he's indicating with all this camera turning. In case you didn't know, during every Odyssey cutscene, you have full control over the right stick. So you can do some pretty wacky stuff with the camera during these cutscenes. And Mario now becoming a quadriplegic, massive fall, just shattering every vertebrae in his body. Like, on one hand, I support their decision to eliminate fall damage from this game, but that animation is mildly unsettling every time. We'll see if allnewluke decides to just go ahead and shoot for the moon clip. He's going for it. Let's see what happens. Oh, not going. Okay, so he didn't actually go for it. I guess like he didn't like his position in relation to the wall. That moon clip doesn't save but like a second, so if you take any time to set it up, you're losing all the time you would save by getting it. Oh, and
taking a bonk. Yeah, that movement up there, typically pretty simple, but if you don't get up high enough, it'll take a pretty big bonk. And allnewluke not using that faster strat. You want to keep one spiny up there for Mario to knock off with Cappy. It's just slightly faster than knocking all those spinies off.
Yeah, you're able to get right up next to the moon just before it spawns. Sefaro, meanwhile, entering the main area of Snow Kingdom. And going for the moon clip, not deep enough in the wall at all, though. So just can go ahead and cut his losses and leave on out of there. allnewluke with the single delay Goomba, the much more reliable strat. Depending on how exactly the Goombas move and how fast your movement is, you can actually activate the icicle falling before grabbing 2 Goombas and not lose time, but it's a pretty difficult bit of movement to do if you're not super comfortable, and especially if the Goombas decide to be a little bit weird in their pattern. Sefaro also not opting for that delayed spiny kill. Maybe just not practiced so much. This poison room is already stupid hard. And Nicroveda playing Mario Maker 2, the notification on Sefaro's screen. The original, the first sub-hour runner. Currently going hard on that Mario Maker grind. I think the more hilarious one is Chaos getting the world record on April Fool's Day. Because I didn't believe it until the next day. Because of what day it was, I didn't even bother checking. I was like, oh, okay, it's just a joke. It's funny.
Well, allnewluke grabbing that shot moon is gonna head up top here. See if he goes for this. I think it's time setting it up a little bit. Nice jump though. That will be the last moon that he needs here. Then we're heading into Seaside.
Yeah, Seaside a pretty interesting kingdom. Pretty laid back overall with the addition of fish. Like, I am so glad that Notes Moon is the one that got kicked. I hated Notes so much. And I didn't even go for, like, the rocket refresh or anything. I really need to get back into running this game. My PB is an abysmal 117. Like, I shouldn't even be allowed in the booth right now at a time like that.
Or taking his time as well.
Nice snow dram. allnewluke with that clean movement up to that high up moon. Getting the wall slide though, killing his momentum over to this spot.
Oh, just narrowly. Yeah.
How did he miss Cappy?
Yeah, he must
so
have.
Weird.
He must have been just a little to the left there for that Cappy jump.
He must have like changed his angle on the control stick after throwing Cappy. That is so weird that dive didn't hit anything.
grab this Cheap. Gonna carry him for quite a while before we do this clip.
Sefaro with that cleaner movement there, nice.
Now this clip coming up here on Luke's side, based on here listening to runners, it's a pretty simple clip, based off their opinions. But we have seen runners have difficulty with driving the moon and then clipping back into the world.
It's such a nasty mistake to make.
I mean, the whole point of this is that you skip the Sphinx and having to talk to him, so you can just grab these 2 moons out of bounds. But if you clip back in bounds on this first moon, you lose a ton of time because you have to go back and talk to the Sphinx.
Right. And it can be a little bit deceptive. You have to keep your distance because, like, the moon tries to kind of grab you in. It's weird. Like, if you get just at all close to that wall, it'll just pop you right in.
Well, Luke shows just how to do it. He gets it done.
And also, if I remember correctly, the Sphinx, the answer to its question is like the 3rd answer, which is the dumbest one because, like, once I missed fish clip in a run, or I got the clip, but then, like, got back in bounds, and I failed the Sphinx 3 times because I picked answer 1, answer 2, then I was like, it has to be 4, right? Nope, 4 was wrong.
So you picked all the wrong answers.
Exactly. It was so dumb. Oh, it is the 4th one? Oh, okay. I just remember, like, having missed it a bunch of times, like, whenever I had to do it once in a run. It was so bad.
Well, Sefaro not even going for the clip here.
Yeah, interesting decision making there. Or wait, what? Okay, he's doing like this weird alternate. I guess is like the safe route, so that you don't even have to deal with the moon. You just go right for the loading zone for the Sphinx.
Yeah, he must not be confident with grabbing that first moon without clipping into the world. We're playing it safe. All new Luke here. Oh!
Okay, saving it pretty handily. That blue platform there is really, really well placed.
Yeah, really nice save there. But Luke here in Luncheon. Spirit fight first, though.
What he did was probably slower than Notes, but it was incredibly free. There is no way to have screwed up what he did. Whereas, like, Notes, you can screw it up every which way. And especially, like, if you forgot mid-run and you, like, were thinking about, okay, I haven't done Notes in a really long time, like, there are a lot of elements that have to come together, and if you haven't practiced it in a while, it's something that you just don't want to rely on at all. And a nice salt pile jump from Sefaro. Has enough room to make his way up top. So he's about a spirit fight, some movement, and a sub room behind at the moment.
Yeah, that sub room pretty free. But this movement here that we're seeing from all new Luke, pretty difficult. There's the one thing about Luncheon is that most of the area is pretty safe. But there's certain movement where it's just you only have enough space for Mario to really land on the platform itself. You don't have a whole lot of movement elsewhere.
And Sefaro, a little bit risky at 1 health at the end of that spirit fight. For some reason, I really wanted to call him Topper, and I was like, that's not the right name.
That's not Topper. Yeah, all new Luke throwing that golden turnip just a little too far.
Ooh, that roll cancel down to the platform.
Yeah,
Nice.
really
I think you'll be able to go ahead and get the Podobo delayed capture. Yep. Had to rethrow Cappy, but almost worked. If you do the roll cancel like that, you can actually get so fast that you can end up capturing the Podobo with a like Dram type capture. Pretty cool.
Oh, Luke having the rethrow for that.
And he manages to
fork
get
there.
up to oh, Sefaro, get on the okay. That,
Well, that was
whole triangle is safe, but man, it's hard to get back up to when you're bouncing around like that.
Well, that was what I was talking about. Some of those platforms are just narrow enough for Mario to just barely land on it.
And that nice
damage.
That nice little goop skip from All New Luke. There's a little bit of an incline on a certain part of the base lava. And if you get a jump off of that incline, when you're on an upward slope, the Podobo jumps slightly higher. And so you're able to actually like jump onto that corner and completely skip that like dumb hill that you have to go way out of your way for. It saves like 3 seconds, but it's kind of difficult to learn. Like, even when you start getting it, it's temperamental enough that you have to really pay attention to what you're doing and like really analyze how your movement's working to figure out how to do that trick consistent.
All New Luke showing off that new movement. You know, 1.3, we don't have that clip anymore. You know, if you were watching last season, you probably saw that clip done a lot. We're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, what happens to the Hammer Bro now when you try to do it? Like, does it just pop out? I remember it, like, does something weird.
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
But either way, clip no worky, so we no doey. It's unfortunate, because turn clip was one of the cooler parts of the route, but...
Well, and here's one of the interesting things. So one thing about that clip now, well, here's some movement right here. That's some tricky movement right there from All New Luke. Really nice job. But it's when you throw the pans and you open up that area to grab the switch, if you're too close to the switch, you can actually accidentally clip back into the bro, which All New Luke did, having to reset up Mario closer to the switch.
And Sefaro just jumping right past the moon by accident. No, okay, Troy. I thought it was like they did something to when Mario captures an enemy in like a restricted state like that. But either way, the result's the same. The clip just doesn't happen. It's unfortunate.
Well, New Luke done with Luncheon. Not too much going to be happening here. We got Ruined Kingdom. But that's, I mean, it's pretty standard, pretty straightforward. That hasn't changed at all. You're just going to be doing some ground pounds on this dragon.
Yeah, Ruin doesn't really have the room to change much unless some really weird thing gets found where you can do like double hits or something. But I feel like something like that is very unlikely.
Well,
or like if some weird way was found of activating post-game state while doing the main game.
Well, this would be a good time to let you guys know. If you're interested in anything that GSA has to offer, check out !point schedule in chat. Super Mario 64 70-star qualifiers in full swing now. Super Mario Odyssey, obviously any percent qualifiers in full swing. We've got a full schedule today. Super Mario 64 Wilco versus Yale will be next. Golden Lily and Turn doing some any percent Odyssey. Okra Armband versus Pain Pita after that, and then Yale versus Doofy tonight. Check out all that. !point bracket, see where all your favorite speedrunners are at, who they have to go up against. A lot of good stuff.
if you're not already subbed to our YouTube channel, either use the !YT command in chat. We post all of the races on YouTube, as well as all the showcase races from Pace, for instance, all the showcase runs. I believe that there are 2 separate YouTube channels, one for all the tournament races and one for showcase and stuff like that. So !YT, if you miss a race or something, you can always catch it on our YouTube.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Reaching all the way back to the beginning of GSA. So if you want to see some old stuff, go check that out.
And I for one, I'm super excited about the showcase races still being hosted on there and all the showcase runs. Those were really, really cool. And I have absolutely no bias because I didn't calm 3 of them.
Well, one of the things I like to watch are the old bingo races.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for
fun to watch.
A new bingo league would be awesome. So much cool stuff happens in bingo, especially triple bingo. Triple bingo is such a wild category.
And then of course !merch, shirts, hoodies, a lot of good stuff. New Luke heading out of ruined Sefaro, taking on this dragon. Now we've got Bowser's Kingdom. And the nice thing about Bowser's Kingdom is that you only grab 1 moon per kind of stage area in here. There's not a set number of moons per se that you need to grab.
Right. Well, you need, I think it's 8 by the end of the kingdom, but you already have a number of them guaranteed by completing all these little sub areas. And so you only need to grab like 3 extra, I think. So we see New Luke not opting for the Pokeodram. I believe it's one of the, like, it's still fast, but there's a full set of 3 that's faster. But that Pokeodram is faster, for instance, than doing any of the hole in the walls, which one of them is including like the very beginner route. Oh, it's only 2 extra. Okay. I'm sorry, you know, when you watch so many categories of this game, it can be a little bit hard to keep everything together sometimes. But, you know, we've got so many SMO matches coming up for Season 2. I'm sure we're going to get all of our information straight here in absolutely no time.
Well, me switching from dark side to 80%, trying to get in that mindset. I'm gonna grab these shards now.
Now you can just see, for whatever reason, Cappy can't home onto anything else in the game but moon shards. I don't get it. I don't get why they're so grabby. Like that second moon shard grab, like I don't think there's any other object in the game you can capture from that far away.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think of are coins, but that's kind of a different mechanic.
Yeah. So you see, they've already got 2 moons for completing these 2 like sub-area type things. Yeah, it must be that moon shards are just the highest priority for some reason. I guess it kind of makes sense since moons can't be grabbed. So that's our first extra moon. Just gonna go ahead and leap over that archway there.
Now we've got our 2 spirit fights. All new Luke heading over for Topper first.
Yeah,
let's see some strategy.
Let's see some GSATs in the chat if you agree with Topper first. And I guess put in a GSAH if you're one of those heretics that does Harriet first.
Are you a topper first person?
I am a topper first guy.
Oh no.
I mean, I feel like it's more likely that you're gonna take some damage from topper. Like if you're gonna get damaged by either, I feel like it's more likely you're gonna get hit by topper. And so if you purposely miss the checkpoint, you do leave yourself a free heal. It wastes a little bit of time, but like if you want to just be extra safe for the Harriet fight. Whereas if you do it in reverse, you never know what's gonna happen during topper set.
I like how between the two of us, I'm a Harriet first person and you're a topper first person. Like that's a nice little even out.
More
in the
likely
commentary
for you to
booth.
Get hit by Harriet. Yeah, it's the only like bad thing about Harriet. Like it's at least for me, it's hard to get hit by her, but it's also pretty hard to hit her sometimes. You have to hit the cap at a very particular point on the bomb in order to not get just a way out angle.
Well, all new Luke done with those spirit fights.
And Sefaro gets this dram nice. And we see all new Luke going for this second extra moon here. He's doing this jump right into the void to go ahead and do some wall kicks over here. Or sorry, Cappy bouncing over here.
Interesting camera angle there from all new Luke. Grabbing this Pokio.
Hoping for some clean movement up this wall. You can lose a lot of time here to just random stuff happening.
Well, it's all on a cycle. So getting up here quick on this cycle is important. Having to take a load at a time.
And like sometimes you're at just very awkward positions like there where he tried poking but got hit with the metal plate. I really hate how when you poke the metal plate you get bounced back. So you really have to be ready to respond so that you can actually like grab the wall again, because it does push you like further away from the wall when the Pokemon can hit back to it first.
See ya. Luke working on Mecha fight. Trying to get the target acquired achievement.
I gotta wait around for Harriet to stop that rainbow movement. I don't know, I just feel like because Harriet's on top, like she's in control. That only makes sense to me, right?
Really nice job with that mecha fight on Luke's side.
Yeah, not leaving any room for Sefaro to make up time there. And that's something that I'm sure Sefaro was kind of hoping for, was some kind of mistake on mech, because that would have immediately turned this into a very tight race. This is so unforgiving when you fall off that mech.
Well, he'll be heading up to the moon. And the next really major movement that Luke has to look forward to is the wall kicks up to the cathedral.
Yep. And Moonskip has been a little bit finicky for some people in the past. And we've even seen some people get the skip handily, but try to go for too fast of movement and end up making a mistake and just falling into the void after trying to get onto the bridge. That is the roughest way to fail Moonskip.
So far, we're going to be taking on this Mecha Brutal fight now. Pretty nice job managing it. It's that ground pound on Rango and Topper.
Also, I just want to point out, why is it that all the Brutals have different color schemes except Harriet and Speedrun? Like, they could have easily made one of them red. Like, come on, man.
That's a fair point, actually.
Right? These are the things that keep me awake at night, along with like in Mario Sunshine, how all the wanted posters have a colored drawing of Shadow Mario on them, yet they still accuse Mario of being the culprit.
Really nice triple jump there from Luke. We'll need to add an extra dive in there.
It is Luke's race to lose at the moment. Sefaro is collecting this multi-moon, going to be on his way to moon in just a sec, but barring some sort of ridiculous mistake on the escape sequence, I'm thinking that this group stage race is going to end up in all new Luke's favor. Sefaro just... and ultimately, like, he lost most of his time in sand. Like, there were mistakes later on, sure, but that big deficit was created in sand and never really left him, unfortunately.
Well, Luke did make some major mistakes in wooded, but it wasn't enough for Sefaro to make up that time, like you were saying. And also, you know, continued mistakes throughout the rest of the run that Luke was able to avoid. And Luke's going to be entering into this Bowser fight before rushing the end of this game.
And he's got that first hit down on Bowser. Getting ready for the barbecue.
We're playing it safe. Doing a nice job. Now, this is one thing that Sefaro did mess up on in the first fight, was that was grabbing the hat. Luke's doing a nice job grabbing the hat and manipulating Bowser over to avoid that Bowser movement.
All new Luke, interestingly opting for that like ground pound to keep over the fire. You see a lot of people just do continuous spin jumps, and to me that's a lot easier since you stay in the air a lot longer. You don't have to, like in Luke's case, do those emergency dives sometimes.
Yeah, he's definitely risking it. You know, if you ground pound too early, you're going to take some damage.
Also, someone saying that he was going to ground pound into the fire. It's really interesting how Nintendo decided for this game to put dives as a following a ground pound. Since they've always been like basic quote-unquote movement where you only use one button for it until this point.
Luke into this Bowser rush. Now the important part of this run is that 2D section. You know, most guys go for 2D skip, but will or will not go for XD skip.
Getting that nice movement. Bowser does actually have a triple jump for anyone that doesn't know, and so you're able to get up to that section without having to go around as long as you time your jumps right beforehand. Also, for anyone that might be new here, the game doesn't tell you this, but in this 2D section, you can still hold B to run, and it makes the section go by faster as well.
Looks like Sefaro having a little difficulty there with the Bowser fight. Just now on the second cycle, as all new Luke heading into this final area before finishing up.
All right, let's see how pillars go. That first shot was way off, not sure, because he had a good angle and then just like misangled it after. It was kind of strange to see. Yeah, not gonna bother with the early pillar. Just gonna leave that one hit for later on. Getting 3 hits on it is pretty nice though. Second pillar's down. Really nice recentering the camera. You have to remember to recenter the camera after each of these pillar shots so that you can get immediately line up for the next one. There's still a little bit of RNG involved because a lot of the time, like, boulders will be falling and right into the path of your fireballs, but if you can get a number of fireballs past the boulders, then you can actually hit the pillars really early sometimes. We've got Luke in the wire. There goes time, a 1:03.11 to cap off the victory of this first Season 2 qualifier group stage race for SMO.
Yeah, really
GG's
nice.
in the chat.
Yeah, really nice there from All New Luke. Pretty good time, pretty decent, you know, for starting out this tournament. We'll want to improve, obviously, as the qualifier continues. Usually you're gunning for something closer to a 101 or a 102. But that will give him the first win, as we see Sefaro in this 2D section gets this 2D skip. No one going for XD skip, kind of unfortunate to see.
Because it's such a huge time save,
Oh,
right?
it saves so much time. And we'll see Sefaro heading into this pillar room. We'll see if he goes for this early pillars.
Okay, he's trying for it. He's got 2, 3 dead on. I think it's good.
Yeah, that third one wasn't as on target. Those first two were.
It's really, really hard to get that without just like stopping to do it. And of course, that just wastes more time. Sefaro with a nice single claw on that pillar. Oh, the first pillar not actually falling down. I didn't see the camera turn, so I figured it didn't, but I was still very surprised. Normally, if you do get the early pillar, the camera will like start to turn towards it as you're running towards the second one.
Yeah, it looks like Sefaro finishing with what appears to be a 105.11, but hitting that timer a little early. So we'll see if we can get these guys into the booth with us before we head on out of here.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got plenty more races coming through today. Right after this, we've actually got... I just closed the schedule. Wow.
Yeah, next at 4:30, we've got Wilco versus Yale SM64 70-star qualifiers. But in the booth with us, big GGs to All New Luke and GG Sefaro on the race. Pretty good job for both you guys.
Thanks. I would have been 3 seconds off my PB if I didn't lose 1 minute and 15 seconds in wooded.
Yeah, let's talk about that wooded first. You took 2 deaths in there.
I don't know how I died the first time, like after far road skip. It was weird. And then pipes. So because I missed the cycle, I was trying to damage boost so I could go over the water. And then I actually damage boosted too late and then got hit by the last I don't know what
Fuzzy, I think.
yeah.
Hello.
Hey,
What's up,
Sefaro.
Sefaro?
What's up?
So,
Yeah.
real quick before we well, actually no. Like Sefaro, how do you think
there's
your
a lot
race
of
went, man?
there's a lot of questionable things in that run. Although, like when I take a step back and look at it, really, all I need to do is just clean up my garbage with the STA, because that was an easy minute I lost for no reason.
Well, that was
like,
the
man,
first thing I was going to ask you.
I've always had problems with the STA since it came out. Like, I hate that carpet that always eats your inputs. Like, I lost a crap ton of time on that because I kept throwing my hat at it and it just eats my input because of the lag it gives you. And then it's just, when hitting that bird and that precise movement after throwing the seed, I hate it. But, you know, I gotta deal with it. And then, you know, the thing is, I actually gained a lot of time after, like, having a solid wooded over Luke. Like, I was a decent, like, distance behind him. I was like, yeah, this is doable for sure. But then I just started having a lot of mistakes, and like, especially on the first hat of Bowser, I've never seen these mistakes before. I thought I was like at the right timing to throw my hat, but suddenly I got punched, and that just lost me a ton of time that I gained. So it was weird. And then, like, I think on the last or the first Bowser hat for the final fight, I usually like whenever you throw your hat at Bowser's hat, usually like it comes right back to you, but for some reason it stayed out, and I was like, wait, why did that happen? I didn't hold the button, and then like it captured the hat for me, and I was like nowhere near close to Bowser's. Like, it's just a lot of weird things.
So, do you think that those really weird mistakes kind of led into what was happening in Day Metro a little bit? Like, were you kind of continued to tilt about that, or?
I don't know. Like, I think D Metro wasn't even that bad, just except for like the fact that I fell, of course. I probably shouldn't have thrown my hat. Like, I thought because I bonked and I wasn't high enough above the moon that I wouldn't make it a single dive to the next one. So I tried to throw my hat, but then when I turned my camera, I started getting like I got a weird angle on my dive, so I started slowing down and I missed the moon. So that was a bad mistake. Everything else wasn't that bad. Scoot clip is good. And yeah, I think the other big thing was in Seaside where I just autopiloted and forgot to go to the clip. That was terrible.
Yeah, what was with that? Because we were like, is he just not confident in the clip, like getting the moon inbounds?
No,
Or
I think it's just a bad habit of mine. I kept thinking ahead of the run, like, oh, I can still like do some things in like Luncheon and shit, but no. And then I just started doing old route for Seaside because like I've done this shit so much.
yeah,
Like, that's a
fair.
bad thing about like a bunch of new stuff comes out and like you've been
Yeah.
running up road called, the correct stuff.
Yeah, this game is just always evolving in so many ways, and it's going to be interesting to see like what future routes will look like. But of course, with all that change, it's easy to sometimes like forget little things here and there like that. So
Mm-hmm. So
Well,
like
well,
overall, that was an easy 104 run going into Moon, even without the fact, or like with like what happened. Yeah, with all that stuff that happened before, like going into Moon, I could have 104 still. So that's like a decent sign. And like especially because I haven't run the game in a while. Like I really want to get back into it, but it's hard. Like a lot of times I just struggle with DSTA, even though I shouldn't. But like DSTA has been annoying for me. But I think if I fix that up, I can get back to like decentable range to like combat with the top times.
no doubt, for sure, that continued practice always helps. And speaking of all new Luke, we've gotten from Sefaro like what he's going to be trying to work on after this run. What type of stuff do you think you're going to be practicing heading into your next group stage?
I mean, I would practice wooded, but I already do that a lot.
I mean, it's never enough for wooded,
Yeah.
really.
I've been missing nut clip a lot recently, and I'm having a lot more trouble practicing it since I don't have the practice mod anymore.
Oh yeah, I've never had the practice mod, so I just get a ton of save files to do that.
Yeah, it's really slow.
Well,
Yeah.
that'll be it for
It's
us.
slow, but like it also helps you like go through the motions,
Yeah.
like leading up to nut clip. So it's like it's good and bad.
Well,
I
that'll
think
be
with
it.
the practice mod, like you just actually no, with the practice mod you do the same thing, but I guess like the benefit is like you can get fresh moons, so it feels more in rhythm. Actually, no, okay, I forget the practice mod also has fresh moons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that will have to be it with us. Sorry to cut this interview off a little bit, but don't go anywhere, guys. Right after this, Wilco versus Yale in SM64 70-star league. If you're wanting more SMO action, just wait till after that match where we've got Golden Lily versus Turn. That should be a pretty awesome match. And then right after that, Ochre Armband versus Pain Pita. And then we're going to be finishing out the day with Yale versus Zoofies. So don't go anywhere, guys. We got a ton more racing action for you here at GSA. I'm Electric. Here, co-commenting with me yet again was Scotch and Tie Guy. And as always, it has been a pleasure, my dude.
Of course.
GG's.
Bye.
And GG's to our runners. Peace out, guys. We'll see you in a bit.